Like promised in my last video, today we're gonna have a look at Chunky, a Minecraft plugin and mod which allows you to pre-generate your worlds, significantly improving performance when you're playing Minecraft. Now I have made a tutorial about Chunky before here on the channel about 2 years ago, though the tutorial is a little bit outdated, and as I mentioned Chunky in a recent video, I feel like it would be good to give a little refresh. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel if you've not done so yet. The vast majority of my daily viewers are not, and I would appreciate it a lot if you did. So Chunky is a pre-generation tool for Minecraft. It is available for a whole bunch of platforms. So on the server only side you got Bucket, Paper and Spigot, and then it also supports all of the major modding platforms like Fabric, Neoforge and Forge. There's even Folia and Sponge support, so big chance if you're running a server or if you're running a mod loader that you can install Chunky. And what does Chunky do? Chunky is a pre-generation tool, which means it can generate the world for you without you actually having to go there. So inside of Minecraft, when I go and fly in a random direction where I've never been before, you will see that chunks are being generated because I'm going there. So the world needs to load them in. And this task, the world being generated, that is very CPU intensive. If you're playing on a Minecraft server, it will be the CPU of the server that you're playing on that is used to generate these new chunks. If you're playing in single player, then it is the CPU of your own PC. Now you might have noticed before, if you've ever played on a Minecraft server with, let's say, 10 or more people, that as soon as everyone starts exploring the world and they're all going in different directions, your server may lag. And this is because of the world generation. So many people generating new chunks all at the same time, then the server gets bottlenecked by the CPU. But let's say all of these chunks no longer have to be generated. Let's say they're generated already. Well, in that case, the CPU doesn't have to do that much. Because when I now go and fly back in this direction, the direction I just came from, you will see that everything appears very quickly. Like you will not actively see chunks pop into existence. They are just kinda there already. And that is because the server no longer has to generate them. The server and my client just have to load them in. And loading in chunks, that is nothing compared to generating them. So if your PC struggles to run Minecraft, or a Minecraft server that you own struggles to keep up if multiple players are all exploring the world at the same time, then pre-generation is a very good solution. It can actually improve performance a lot. There are 3 main things to keep in mind though. First up, pre-generation takes time. So you will need to do this pre-generation before you're actually gonna play on the server. Now of course, if you've been playing on the server for a while, then you can still do it, but do it during downtime. And if you're doing it as single player, just start the pre-generation and wait with playing before it's actually done. Second, pre-generation will actually load in all of the chunks. Well, not all of them, but all of the chunks inside of a selected area. I will show you how to do that in a little bit, but that means that all the chunks that get generated are generated forever. In other words, let's say you're now playing Minecraft 1.21.11 and in a couple months you will be playing the new update, and let's say Mojang adds a new biome in that new update. It is gonna be really hard to find that new biome in your world because all of the already generated chunks are already generated with the previous world seed and in the previous version when that biome did not exist yet. This is why it's also very important for a Minecraft server that you want around for a long time to not pre-generate too much, because then you will forever be stuck in a world that was already generated in a very old version. And the third point is that if you generate terrain, that will take up space, like hard drive space. You might have noticed that if you play in a Minecraft world for a very long time, eventually the world size just becomes, you know, big. It just becomes a very big folder. When you pre-generate your world, that happens way quicker. Let's say you would generate 10,000 by 10,000 blocks. It could easily take up 20 to 30 gigabytes. So do keep that in mind. If you're gonna do pre-generation, which can significantly improve performance, it is gonna take up some storage, because all of those chunks will then be generated even if nobody ever goes there. So there are definitely some downsides, but also lots of upsides. And if you're looking for a way to improve your server's performance when players are generating terrain and you don't want to set render distance to literally 4, then this is a good solution. Now with all of that being said, let me show you how to actually use Chunky. So the first thing you want to do is simply download Chunky for whatever platform you want. If you're already running a local mod loader for Minecraft, then you can just install Chunky for that mod loader. You can see for 1.21.11 it is available for all of these platforms, so that should be no issue. If you don't know how to install a mod loader in the first place, like you've never installed a Minecraft mod before, I've made a separate tutorial on that. I'll leave it linked as a card. Go ahead and check it out. Now, if you're running a Minecraft server that supports plugins, of course, those are also here. And if you're running a modded server, that is of course also possible. Quick note, by the way, if you want to pre-generate a world on, for example, a Fabric server, then you only need to install the Fabric mod on the server side. You don't need to install it on your own client if you're gonna pre-generate a world on a server. To use Chunky on the server, simply make sure you're OP. If you want to use it in a single player world, it should just work, but potentially you will need to make sure that cheats in your world are enabled. After that, what we want to do is first tell Chunky what we want it to pre-generate. So when we type /chunky and after that world, we can now specify which world we want to pre-generate. So do we want to pre-generate the overworld, the nether, or the end? I'm gonna go for the overworld, so that's the one I'm gonna select. We're gonna press enter. World changed to world. In other words, when we now start Chunky, it will pre-generate the overworld. Simple as that. Now, something else which you can set is the center. So when we do Chunky center, we can now specify an X and Z coordinate. And this will then center the pre-generation around that certain point. So if we do 0, 0, for example, then the center of this world is 0, 0, and it's gonna pre-generate from there. If, for example, the spawn of your server is not at 0, 0, you might want to change this. You can totally just fly to a location, for example, over here, and then I can type Chunky center, but without specifying coordinates, and then it will center to wherever I'm standing. So apparently this is now the center of my world. Would you look at that? Now after that, we're gonna specify the radius. So Chunky radius, and this basically means how much do we want Chunky to pre-generate. We could, for example, set this to 10,000, and then that is how much it is gonna pre-generate. Of course, around this center point that I've set. Something which you can also do is make it so that the radius is gonna be the same as the world border size. Now, currently, the world border is set to max, which is a bit big. But let's say we would shrink the world border by using the command /world border set. I'm gonna set it to 10,000. There we go. The world border has shrunk. Then I can now do a Chunky world border, just like that. And there we go. The radius has been set to 5,000. Why 5,000? Well, because X 5,000 is where the world border is gonna be. If the world border is set to 10k from the center, then you can travel to X 5k and minus 5k. But there's no 10k. For that, it would have to be 20k. I think you get it. Now, something else which we can do is we can actually shape the world to a shape that we like. So this is mostly really cool if you're using something like Dynmap, which is a plugin/mod that allows you to have a map of your world. By default, Chunky will generate in a square, which means that on something like Dynmap, this is what it will look like. But you can also generate in a circle form if you want a circular world. And then on Dynmap, it will look really cool. You can also generate a rectangle shape, you can generate a diamond shape, you can generate a pentagon, a hexagon, a star. I don't know why you would want a star. But we can also have a rectangle and we can have an ellipse. So all of these are possible shapes that you can generate in. And we can simply change this by typing /chunky shape and after that the shape that we want. I'm gonna keep it on square, but if you want a different shape, that's possible. Now after you're done setting everything the way you want, after you're happy with your way of configuration, what we can do is simply type /chunky start. And this will then start pre-generation. So we're gonna press enter. There we go. Task started in world for the square region centered at 0, 0 with a radius of 5,000. Now, if you want to know how your pre-generation is doing, we can type /chunky and then progress. And this will then show how much it has done already. So a task is currently running for world. It has processed 1657 chunks, which means it is 0.42% done. And the ETA is 2.5 hours. So it thinks it is gonna take 2.5 hours before it is complete. Now in this case, I'm doing it on a server, which means that I can see in the console how it is actually doing. So every few seconds, I will get a new message that shows me the time remaining, the percentage complete, the amount of chunks it has generated already, stuff like that. And now I can just sit back, relax, touch some grass, and when I'm back home, my server will be pre-generated, and we're able to play without world generation lag. Now after you're done with Chunky, after you've pre-generated everything you want to pre-generate, you can totally remove Chunky from your server or mod pack. You don't have to keep it around. The pre-generated world is not gonna disappear. So in theory, after it's done, you can just delete it from your server or remove it from your mods list and you will be good to go. Also, can't hurt to just keep it around. Let's say you will need it again in the future, but it's not mandatory. And that is gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. See you later. Bye bye.